Okay, what's going on, guys? My name is Gio, and I work in a warehouse for a plumbing company. My position is making deliveries in our work truck, and I deliver heaters, I deliver toilets, I deliver a whole bunch of things. What am I looking for? Whatever the customer is looking for, depending on the plumber and depending on the job. Now, I wanted to make a video of ways you guys can make some extra income from having a job like this, or even if you don't have a job like this, you can still do it yourself, depending on where you seek, where you look. Now, you can make money off of heaters. If you have yourself a truck and you come to companies or warehouses like these and ask the front manager in the front, just ask them if they're willing to work with you if they don't already have somebody that comes and pick up their heaters, and you can take these heaters yourself to a local or distant recycling place, and they'll pay you to get rid of heaters, just to dump them there. They'll give you some money. So that's one way of making money. It all depends on which recycling place you go to, obviously. Not all places do that. Some places are just dumps, so you can just dump them there. But yeah, some people make money off of giving away heaters. What I like to do, since I am a delivery driver, I can't really take these heaters to a dump place. I just dump them here for other people to come and pick them up. What I like to do, after taking my heaters off of the truck, I like taking off, this is called brass. Anything that looks like this color and shade is brass. And sometimes, if you're lucky, there is copper. There's copper lines, there's copper fittings, copper pipes, all over these heaters. They kind of look like this. But this is stainless steel, so this isn't copper. And depending what tools you got, it's better to use a wrench or a drill. Not a drill, sorry, a sawzall. And yeah, just take off the brass or copper, whatever else on it. Sometimes there's copper on here if you get lucky. And take off the brass, depending if it's clean or not. This is not considered clean. But then if you have any brass pieces that you find lying around in the warehouse that is not used in our stock or anything, just outside in the trash, you can even look through the trash cans. You can look into the trash cans in your warehouse jobs. This is for the people that work in warehouse jobs. Look through the trash cans that the plumbers dump, and look through their bags and see if they have any extra copper or any brass fittings or anything just lying in the trash. Most of the time you're going to find them on the heaters, but sometimes you get lucky, you never know. You can find them in the boxes that they leave here. You see? Look at that. Just walking around, looking through stuff, not really looking desperately or anything like that, but just scoping around. I mean, look. Found 2 copper lines just like that, and all this accumulates money. All of it. And you could stack up a lot. You could, I put them in a box, and I stack a lot. Over time, I give it like about a month and a half, 2 months, and I take it to a recycling place, and they give me money for it. So if you guys want to find a way to make some extra money, you can do that yourself. If you're not working in a warehouse, you can go up to other businesses and ask them if you can go through their trash cans and see if they'll let you. It all depends. They might say yes, they might say no. It all depends. It really does. But I'm just giving some advice to people that work in warehouses that don't know about this, because I've been doing this for quite a while now. And as you can see, I got myself a nice little stack. Here's copper, here's brass, and this is the brass I just took off today as well. And when it comes to this copper and brass stuff, you want to be careful, because if I can find you an example, you don't want to deliver or give any of the recycling places stuff like this. You're gonna want to separate it. And if you have the right tools, you can easily do so. I do have the tools to do it. I'm just not going to do it now because I'm just waiting until I stock up. And eventually everything is going to be separated like this. Even with this, I'm going to take this off. There's a brass right here and some copper. I use a drill. Sorry, not a drill. I use a wrench like I just saw. And I use a sawzall to cut things off, especially when it comes to this. These copper flex lines, these are great use for copper to recycle, but there's brass at the end of each side. So you want to make sure you cut that off or else it's not going to count. And you separate your brass and your copper and you give it to them and they'll give you a good amount of money. I make more money off the brass just because how heavy it is, but the more copper you have, obviously the more money you'll make. So I got a big box here. I got more coworkers that do the same, that put me on this game. And yeah, it's great. It's honestly great. If there's just any things you want to figure out how to make more money, things you can do to make a little side income, especially for the people that work in warehouses. You can do this as well. And I guess this is what I use to separate the copper and the brass. More tools. These aren't my tools, but I do have these at home, so it's not like I'd be struggling anyway. These would always are useful. Also with my coworkers' sawzall. These are very handy and useful when it comes to cutting off copper, because sometimes you will find copper sticking out of the heater. And they're just in there, so you won't be able to take it off unless you saw it off. So that comes in handy a lot of the time, as well as these wrenches, though. So as long as you have the proper tools, you'll be able to do stuff like this as well. And yeah, I mean, it doesn't sound like a bad idea. Just to help other people out that want to make some more money, just need help. I'm not really a greedy person. I don't really care all about that much about money, but with the way prices and income is going, it'd be nice to get just a little stash, you know, just a little stash of dough to coming through. It's not a bad idea. But yeah, even at the bottom of these heaters, right here, there's more brass. But I'm not even quick to grab them. Don't really care about them as much. I recommend you do get them though if you are leaving them behind. I have other people come and get some. I try to leave some stash for them at least. But I have a good amount of stash right now. I'm sure it's all going to accumulate over the last few months. Over this next month or so. It always does. But yeah, I just wanted to say that's another way of stashing money, another way of doing things like that. If you can do that at your job or find a location, especially if you have an area that has copper and brass, you can do that. It's just make sure you're doing it morally and correctly, and you should be all right. Here's a little stash I got. It usually fills up to the top, and doesn't take too long to be gathering stuff like this, but I recommend it just so you can find a little, side hustle, I guess. But same thing for the heaters. If you can like start gathering a bunch of brass and copper, and then on top of that, if you have a truck, like a work truck, you can stash these heaters. If you go to a company and say, hey, you guys need help getting rid of heaters, and they say yes, you can obviously ask them and see if they say yes or no. You'll give them the way we have it going on here is somebody comes, picks these up, they pay us for it, like just a little side cash, nothing crazy, but they give us some cash for it, and they take it to a recycling place and they get money off of it. And they also help clean up. They're very respectful, and it's just things like that. It's all about morals and principles. What would you be willing to bring to the table so you can take from the table, It's all about giving and receiving, I guess, when it comes to, companies and trying to work with other people, always. So, yeah, it's better to just try and do something, you know. Be able to take these heaters to a recycling place, take the brass off and the copper, stash it all together, and hey, you never know. You'll be collecting a bunch of recycling in no time and have a little stash of dough and turn it in. Depending on how much you have, you can get a lot. If I were to fill up this box full of brass and copper, like the whole thing to the top, let's see, realistically, it'd be like almost $200. And depending if I fill it to the brim or even more, it would probably be $200 or a little bit more. So right here, right now, this isn't too much, but over time, this is gonna accumulate. It's gonna get more and bigger. So just wanted to spread some advice and see if this can help you out for people that just want to make some little side dough, little side cash and stuff like that, you know. That's all we're trying to do here. But yeah, nonetheless, praise the Lord. Thank Him for another day. God bless you guys.